In this video, we'll be doing the Easter eggs and prediction for Season 7, Episode 2 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Beware Spoiler Not Caught Up. So the episode title is called Know Your Onions, which was a reference, was referenced in the episode by the Koenig a couple times, but it's not really related to the plot at all, so yeah. We finally see what happened to May in the spirit world, which she called, and basically being attacked by the inhabitants of that world, but we don't really see much of it. It's just a quick glimpse of it. But we have Enoch trying to stop like knock her out and or whatnot. But he mentions to May that he is best friends. He's the best friend of Leopold James Fitz, which was the bond that they had last season. And he mentions that to May that they're in the year 1931, which is basically the same way that he told Fitz that his friends were in 2091 in season 5, episode 5, Rewind. So I really like that they made that consistent with how Enoch speaks to the humans and whatnot. So yeah, and we have this little issue with Yo-Yo apparently, where she is having a bit of trouble with her speed. This episode, I'm not sure where this is gonna go, but she basically blames it on the strike that was in our system, messing with it and whatnot, because her heartbeat is what her powers are, and the strike were going in her stomach and whatnot around the heart. So it's possible the strike did do something to her, but I don't know if that actually is true. But the big whole reveal, which a lot of people actually guessed, which I'll talk about in a bit because I didn't want it to be this, but uh, the big reveal that the stuff that Freddy has is the super soldier serum that was created by Abraham Erskine in the was I think it was in the 40s, they said, and it was used and which was used by the Red Skull and whatnot. So their mission is to prevent, or the Chromacon's mission was to prevent Freddy from delivering this serum to Hydra, so Hydra doesn't have Red Skull or Gideon Malik, the two heads of Hydra, the two heads of the two different Hydras. So yeah. So they wanted to stop him from ever delivering that package. So yeah, and while on the mission with Mac and Deke, they're looking through they're looking through all the bottles and whatnot, and Deke decides to drink one of them, and Mac calls Deke Zima because of his obsession with Zimas. So yeah, I guess that's his new nickname instead of Lemons, which Mac gave him. So, or I guess he can still call him either or, but still. And we find out that during this time that the unknown time frame that Fitz and Simmons has had, at some point Enoch has upgraded himself to the Hunter package that the other Chromacons have. So it's a good thing because now we can actually they have two Chromacons that are able to fight against the bad ones. And I'm assuming at some point we are going to see Enoch versus the other Chromacons at some point. I just don't know when. But we see that basically the very first sign of the fanboy in Annie Koenig, because he is brought on to the Zephyr 1 and he's freaking out over Enoch being a robot and all that kind of stuff. and it's actually showing the origin story, I guess, of where the Koenigs got the idea of the LMD project and whatnot. And I'm assuming it's possibly, I don't know if Enoch would be spending this whole entire time with the the Koenig family, but it's possible that this Koenig told his grand kids the story of uh, Enoch and Shield and all that kind of stuff, and that's why, or that's where they got the idea for the LMDs later on in their the timeline. So yeah, and we do. It's not really a reference or whatever, but I do like the character growth of Deke that we see, where he was very kind of ruthless in the future, where he didn't he would really do anything to survive, but you see here he's not willing to stop uh, Malik in delivering his package. So it's I like that they see the differences that Shield has made on Deke's life to make him a better person. So yeah, and Freddie Malik mentions to Koenig that he's not a coward like his father, which is actually not true. Which because the whole Malik family apparently is a coward, other than uh, Gideon's brother. I forget what his name was, but he's the only one that wasn't a quote unquote coward, because he actually wanted to do the sacrifice willing, uh, like actually do it properly. So yeah, and the closing the closing scene is of uh, Enoch and Koenig uh, at the bar, and he apparently Enoch is going to work for him and right for now. I don't know for how long, but he makes the barraculata, which is a reference to season 6, episode 3, the Kitson episode, where he actually ordered a barraculata. So it's still in line with his character and whatnot. So they did not forget his special drink that he likes. So yeah, for predictions, I was going to predict it in the last episode before the season or episode 2, but I couldn't make the video up beforehand, and it's revealed in this episode that I was wrong, and that prediction was going to be that the employers or the serum that Freddy was going to deliver wasn't going to be the super soldier serum, because it just felt so weird to me and out of place, because like I said, the whole entire Malik family, as far as I understood, was that their mission was to bring back High from Maveth. So having them tied to the super soldier serum and Red Skull and all that kind of stuff, it did not really sit very well to me. So it, but as far as I understand, it's actually just uh, one of the ingredients, the final ingredient to the super soldier serum. So it's not the super soldier serum. It like as a whole, it just a part of it. So it kind of got away with what they're doing, and it's not really totally tied to the Red Skull, I guess, in a way. But what I had predicted was that it's possibly that the this organization that the woman was at, because they said that she said it was her employer, which implied that Freddy wasn't part of Hydra, I guess, at the time. So I guess, but I thought Malik was always a part of Hydra, but she said it was her employer that wanted this serum or whatever in the last episode. So I was going on a different idea where this employer could be Zodiac, which was only hinted at in the H. Carter one shot, and we never really went back to it, which would have been interesting. if that was actually the case of where the season was going, because they do hint at last episode where uh, the Koenig was going by the name Gemini, which in the comic, Zodiac is a bunch of people who go by the names of the Zodiac signs, which one of them is Gemini. So it's possibly that later on in the season, they could have actually shown that there's an actual organization called Zodiac and whatnot. And they do kind of hint at it in a way, possibly, this episode. So I'm going to go with it still that Zodiac is going to be the final big bad. Because the whole dilemma this episode was whether or not to stop Freddy, and Coulson brings up the fact that if they stop Hydra now, someone worse can be could rise up and take Shield or Hydra's place, which could possibly be Zodiac. So I'm just sticking with, even though I was wrong about the super soldier serum and whatnot, I still think it's possible that Zodiac could be the main bad guy later on in the season, and once the Chromicons are dealt with at some point. So yeah, comment down below if I missed any Easter eggs or references, and if you have any predictions for the upcoming episodes. See ya.